Okay, or I'm going to open this up in Photoshop and show you a couple little things. I'm just going to crop this down a little bit. Um, we have everything in here. We have the controls. We got the post up here. We got this post in the back. It's a little bit distracting. Not much you can do about it. Um, Not much more we can crop out of here because I do like having the controls there. We can't crop any lower. Maybe just a little bit right here. I'm not really worried about the caption right now. But if we go from there, let me see if I can show you going from here down to here, going from here down to here. And we've taken a little bit and concentrated more here. We have that little juxtaposition here. I want to go into here also. Let's show you. Here's the dodge tool and your burn tool and your sponge tool. Use the dodge tool. And I'm going to pick up a bigger brush and I'm going to keep this soft. I don't want the hardness there. My exposure, I'm going to keep down around 42. It doesn't matter. I need actually a little bigger brush on that. There we go. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open up. See the difference between her arm and everything here? The flash is really pounding it right in here, but it's dark in here. So what I did, I just kind of balanced out, as you can see, going from here down to here. It kind of matches the exposure. I'm just doing this very quickly. You should actually use a smaller brush, but I'm just to show you going from here down to here, we've kind of balanced that out. And if we look at the original image, again, we look here, and then you see it a little bit over there. If I wanted to, I can brighten this up as well with a radar and the controls. So we're going from here down to there. And it kind of balances out your image a little more. It's a more even type of lighting in here. Okay, up here it's not too bad. If I wanted to, I can actually use my burn tool and take it down a little. My exposure is very low. It's at 11 right now. If I wanted to, I could take a little bit of a highlight out of there, or I can take a little bit off of her area right in here. And it kind of balances things out as well. If we go from here, then look what happens. Okay, so let's continue with this. Sorry about the interruption there for a second. But anyway, as you can see, looking before and afterwards, there's quite a bit of change here. Okay, just your image just pops a little further out with things being even and everything. Okay, so let's take a look at the other image now. There's the other one. The problem here that bothers me is that there is so much distance between her and the name. There's just so much space in here. I'm going to try and crop this a little bit. There's not much I can do because I want that space. But you see it almost looks like a panoramic now because of that. Excuse me, trying to get comfortable here. My back has been killing me all day. Let's see. I'm going to go into here in my image adjustments and levels. Let's take a look at the levels now. As we look at our levels, okay, here's our highlights. I'm going to bring this over if I want. You notice it brings it up. And I can move this over. Watch in here because I want to retain that. There we go. Now you start losing that detail. You lose the line right there. Anything past that point, and I lose detail in the highlights. So I'm going to move my midtones. I'm worried about this area here. It's a little bit dark. So I'm going to open up my midtones a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my contrast in to boost my contrast up. And you're going to see a significant change in this image. Going from here down to here. That image just kind of pops. Okay, I may need a little more contrast, maybe, maybe not. I can go back up here, go up here to my levels. I can bring the contrast slider over a little more. I don't want to darken her too much, but I do want to bring that contrast up. So we go from here, that's your original, and then we have here. All right, so that's one way of looking at this. Again, I could use the dodge tool, and I could just go like that with one shot, and it just opened everything right up. We went from here, your original, down to here. And you can see it's brightened a lot of things in there just by using that. And if I wanted to, here's my burn tool. I can get that highlight and make sure that it's still seen as detailed in there. And you'll see a difference going from here to here, there to there. I'm going to open this up a little bit so you can see the difference going from here down to there after using the burn tool. So here's your original, and here it is afterwards with a few adjustments of levels, dodge tool, and burn tool. But as we can see, the image kind of pops a little more. Here's your original, and now we go down to here. An image of the clarity, contrast. If I wanted to change a black point, I can do that. There's black and white. Here's my color balance, hue, saturation, levels, curves, exposure, Curves is another one. It's a little more complicated, but you can change some of the items here. Okay, I can bring the contrast down, boost contrast, midtones. There's so many different variables. You can place another point here, drag it up, gets all the midtones in there. Opening up my midtones, I could still bring this over. Don't want to do it that way. As you can see, it brings a little more of a pop, still leaving some highlights. So that's using curves. Here's before curves and here's after curves. And you can see that this made even a little more difference. But if you notice, we lost everything in here, going from here down to there. So that's what you want to be watchful for. I kind of like the way this turned out, but keep an eye on your levels, your highlights, and your shadow area. Okay, I'm going to go right in here, and I'm not cropping anything. I'm just taking this out. I want to take out these white borders. I just want to see the image. I know I already read the captions. Captions look good. Covers what's needed. Got a nice diagonal going on here, but as we can see, her face is in shadow. So I take this dodge tool. I just place it there. I could use a smaller one if I wanted to, go down a little more. And now I can paint my little bit of light inside there. So we went just from here to here, and you can see it kind of pops. If I wanted to just even that out, I'll just lighten that up a little more, going from here down to here. And again, take your time, enlarge it. You should be working on it like this. When you're doing something like that, you should have this all the way up. That is how you should be working. I'm doing it very quickly just to show you. And you can see that now I can use a much smaller brush. And I can get to these little details that I may not have had the chance to earlier. Okay? But you got to watch. You don't want to make any kind of difference. Now, you see this line? This is what I wanted to show you right here, that dark and light. I don't want to do that. So what you have to do is go to your exposure and bring that down. Very light exposure. You don't see a lot, but it allows you to blend this a little more. And it's opening the area up without leaving anything blotchy. Okay? So I'm just going to come down here a little more over this side, open these eyes up a little bit. And as we can see, if I go to the beginning, I'm going to zoom back out. Let's get the whole picture in here. Okay. So we went from here, that's after opening it, cropping. First dodge was here, second one was here, and you can see going all the way down. Kind of opens things up. All right, so here's the original, and then afterwards with opening. Let's see if I can just get this. There's the opening after it's cropped, and then I can go down to the last time we dodged, and you can see the difference there. It opened up the face, and we opened up the shirt a little more. Got a little spot right in here. It looks, for some reason, there's a shadow being cast on here. So by using that little dodge tool, I just took that out of there. Going from here down to here, I took that away. And I did not use a clone tool, dodge and burn tool. That's all I used. You can see that the picture has a lot more punch to it. Her face is more detailed. We took that shadow out of there, and it can go on and on and on and on and on. But otherwise, it's coming along well. Work on these areas that we discussed, and you should be just fine.